sun is hot and that old clock is moving slow, and so am I. Workday passes like molasses in wintertime.
Jim Moose Brown has toured with Bob Seger. Won Grammys. One Grammy or many Grammys? One Grammy. One Grammy. Recorded with dozens of huge stars and is the go-to guy for country artists in particular. In fact, Moose's It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere, which he co-wrote, is the most played song on tavern jukeboxes around the world between 4:30 and 5.
From about 10 a.m. on until
actually,
5.
I think at 6 a.m. it starts to get played a lot. Mr. Brown is in the studio this morning, and he's brought with him a very cool instrument. It's the Voyage Air folding guitar. Folding guitars are kind of I don't know how new they are, but now they're incredibly good. So good, in fact, that Jim told me he can tour. He can play this on stage with Bob Seger, and he can put it on his Harley and drive around with it. The electric and acoustic versions are the ones that he'll tell us about. Jim will be rocking with the Silver Bullet Band tonight in the Tacoma Dome, and afterwards he'll fold his guitar up. And welcome to the Bob Rivers Show, Jim Moose Brown. How are you?
I'm doing great. Actually, I have people who fold them up, so I don't.
That's big time.
Folding roadie.
Can't be folding his own guitar.
Do you want Tyler Templeton?
Yeah, he's available.
Yeah, I'd like to get him before he gets cremated. That'd be good.
Awesome.
No,
Hey,
they're great guitars.
Looking through your bio, obviously Bob Seger loves you, and you've toured with him before, back in the mid-2000s, right?
I've been with him since 2006, and historically he doesn't tour very often, so he kind of surprised everybody when he wanted to go back out in 2011. So we did like 50 dates then, and then really surprised everybody when he wanted to do 50 dates this year. So,
right.
Or actually, we're doing 25 this spring. The talk is we might go back out this fall, maybe.
In addition to Bob Seger, you are like a country go-to guy, session musician. You've toured with some of these other bands too, I imagine, right?
Actually, I don't tour with them very often. Nashville is very unique in that the process works. There's like 6 or 8 guys on each instrument, 6 or 8 drummers, 6 or 8 bass players, guitar players, etc., who kind of play in different combinations on everybody's records, and so I get called to play on. Your listeners may not be into country music that much, but I play on Brad Paisley's records.
Some are, yeah.
Darius Rucker, Blake Shelton. I've played on a lot of country artists' records, and so that enables me to have a very normal life. I record during the day and get to sleep in my bed at night, and nobody knows who I am.
You're like
it's
a
awesome.
Responsible musician. You're not even a deadbeat dad, right? Like we were talking about earlier.
Definitely not a deadbeat dad. The
You have a
responsible musician thing, I don't know about that.
Blake Shelton's got the #1 song on the country charts, but you're probably out with Bob. I don't know if you played on it. Sure be cool if you did. Did you play?
I may have played on that. I'm not sure. I don't play on all of his stuff, but I play on
Do you actually not remember because you play on so many things sometimes?
It gets that way, yeah. It does. And most of the time when we record these things, it's in the previous year, and it takes a
year for it to come out. By then you've done 150 more songs.
Exactly.
He's on the movie, the Disney Pixar film Cars, movie soundtrack Varsity Blues. He's got an Academy of Country Music Award nominated That Lonesome Song for Album of the Year, and In Color for Song of the Year. Just lots of things. Now, did you have to bust out a wall in your barn and build space for all your awards? How did it...
No, not really. Oh. You kind of just keep moving. You don't really stop and think about it too much. You kind of have to go on to the next thing, or they stop happening. So I don't.
You just work hard. Workhorse. Good guy.
I get to do what I love.
You have to bring a lunchbox and come home like a regular worker.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I have to be home when my wife says to be home. Pretty much.
Oh, like us. Okay. And now, how did you get? It's kind of a weird question, but. How did you get so good? Tell people who aspire to music.
Well, I think it just stems from a passion, and it's a learning process that never ends. I still learn stuff, and I think when you get to the point where you think you know it all, it might be time to do something else. I love what I do.
You're always learning.
I'm always learning.
Inventing, does that mean inventing new licks, trying to do things you didn't know how to do before?
I think more than anything, I think it just means listening. I get booked to play on records for artists and a lot of songwriter demos in Nashville. That's a big thing as well. A lot of staff songwriters there, and they have me come in and play on sessions with other musicians, try to make them sound like records in order for them to pitch them, that an artist might be interested in recording them. And so I get bombarded with a lot of requests to, hey, can you do this in the second verse? And sometimes you're working with people who aren't that musically accomplished. And so I always listen, and sometimes in my mind I think, I'll do that, but it's not going to work very well. And sometimes I'll do what they ask of me thinking it's not going to work, and it'll be the most incredible thing. It's like, oh my God,
You're
I'm going to tuck that away. And
someone
use that
else's vision, and
exactly.
then you own it.
It's a learning process.
Now, one thing you worked on is just probably, I mean, these are huge country stars that you work with, but a guy I love, I know you worked with, is Lucas Nelson. What a great talent that young guy is.
Oh, he's a rock star. I love him. And, I had played on an album for his dad, Willie, a couple years ago, and I met Lucas there. He was part of that project. And he's got a rock band, and when he was in Nashville, he asked me to come out and sit in and play B3 with him on stage, and I just fell in love with those guys. He's got a great band.
We discovered him about 5 years ago when they were like driving around in a van playing some little dive.
Yeah.
And he came in our studio at 6 a.m., baked already, by the way. It's 4:20 somewhere. You have to write that song.
He was
just
chill.
tired. He was tired.
It's 4:20 somewhere.
chill.
For Washington.
Battle
you can
against
write that for
cataract
us
is
right
an
now.
ongoing battle, Bob.
Yeah.
You know.
No, but I mean, he played for us, and the whole room fell silent.
Yeah.
We were mesmerized by his dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's almost funny in a way that he sort of has his dad's voice, and it's obvious he's Willie Nelson's kid, he doesn't really sing, or his songs are nothing like his dad's.
Right.
He has his own
He does.
creativity. And we have had him on the show every year since. Every time he's
that's
coming
really
through,
cool.
his band parks out front, and they, I think they just stay up for the night. I don't know if they actually wake, but they're amazing, and they keep getting better and better.
They do.
Yeah.
I produced their last record, and they cut it at my studio in Nashville, and they just kind of hold up for about a week, and we worked together on it. And
wow.
I love that kid. He's all those guys in the
So you
band.
mentor people, so you work with him,
I don't know.
or
about the
is it
mentoring
is it a
thing.
two-way process?
I enjoy being around people that are genuine and have a passion about what they do, and he definitely fits that bill.
Okay,
and,
now
and,
I want to. We got a little time. I want to talk to you about this folding guitar thing.
Okay.
Because a lot of people would love to play the guitar, and a lot of times the guitars, get smashed up or banged up, and it's hard to get a guitar on a plane. Like, you don't want to check a
No.
guitar as luggage.
No, right.
And so, but folding guitars, I always thought were unlikely to be good guitars.
Exactly the thought I had. I remember the first time I heard about this, I was in the studio with Brad Paisley, and he was talking about this guitar. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, a fold-up guitar, that's kind of cool. That's a nice novelty thing, And
Like
he
a
said-
novelty, yeah. It feels like a fold-up boat. I just wouldn't
Exactly.
trust it not to leave.
I've seen them.
Exactly. And so Brad said, no, I'm telling you, it's a great guitar. And so it kind of piqued my interest a little bit, and I called them and I said, I'm a songwriter and I'm a Harley rider, and I live about 20 minutes north of Nashville, and I try to ride my Harley every day that I can because I just love to ride. And they said, well, come try one. And I picked it up, and it's unbelievable. I don't know if these mics are on.
No,
Oh, yeah, they're good.
But it's just a rich sounding guitar. Great quality guitar. And actually, I use it on the road with Bob.
Will you be
So
playing tonight with it?
I'll be playing the Voyager guitar tonight.
I don't want
But,
to sound naive, but I'm looking at it and I'm trying to figure out where it folds.
All right. Well, I can show you. Of course, you're,
Actually, let's not do it now, because then
Okay.
we'd have to tune it up again.
Oh, yeah.
After the show ends,
Can
we'll
you
make a
even-
video and we'll post it at bobrivers.com
Yeah, there
for
you
everyone
go.
who wants
Can
to
you
see.
even guess?
Oh, I
How-
saw
Sure.
him. I
Oh,
saw
you
him
saw him
put
do
it
it.
together.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It looks so good after it's done that you wouldn't even know it was
Looked
a
like a
folded
guitar,
guitar.
You know,
Yeah.
they make
Any
a
of 'em.
dehydrated guitar now. It's a pill. Just drop in a glass of water.
It's like dentures that
Yeah.
look perfect. You
Right.
wouldn't know I was wearing
They don't
dentures.
sound real good, but they work.
I found that any guitar will fold if you push on it.
It's getting to be a guitar again. The hard part.
Hey,
Exactly.
are you going to sing a song for us? Would you sing a song?
I'd be glad to.
Would you? No, maybe you don't want to do this.
Ask him.
Would you sing "It's 420" somewhere? Just change the one word for
Sure,
Washington
absolutely.
State.
Oh,
All right.
my
And you don't have to do it all through the song. Maybe just once, because I don't want to ruin your song. But
Well,
here
a
we
lot
go.
of your listeners may not even know, because you guys are more of a rock station, but I'm a staff. I kind of wear a few different hats in Nashville. I am an occasional record producer. I'm primarily a session musician, but I'm also a staff songwriter. I have been at this company called Seagale Music for 13 years now, and so I've had some few hit country songs. But this is the one that everybody seems to know, so I'll do that. So, Alan Jackson.
Hey, Jim, I'll tell you what. If you are not in a hurry to be somewhere,
No.
we'll let you play 2 songs. We'll do a commercial break first,
Okay.
and then we'll play 2. Because if we don't get the commercials in time, we
Yeah,
all,
I got you.
they dock
Yeah.
our pay,
Yeah.
just like a
And
waitress
you guys
who's,
aren't going to be able to pay me this
whose
morning.
tab doesn't balance up at the end of the night. So, Jim Moose Brown, and Jim on stage with Bob Seger tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you love, love about being on the road on stage. It's not something you typically normally do.
Yeah.
And the feeling of the crowd, the whole thing, and that he sings about in song. Is it exhilarating?
Oh, it's the most incredible rush I've ever felt. I got off the road in '94 just to do recording sessions, and so since '94, I really haven't played out live anywhere, even around Nashville. I just go in recording sessions and songwriting appointments and that kind of stuff. And so when I got the call from Bob in 2006, I'd been recommended, and I thought, well, that sounds like it could be fun, because that was my high school days. It was the soundtrack of my high school days. Without telling my age, I was in school in the '70s, and
Dude, look
had-
around the room. You ain't alone. It's all
I
us
just turned.
too,
I just
man.
turned 50.
Me too.
And I had the 8-track in my Chevy van, driving around listening to Bob Seger in high school. So it's a pretty cool.
That was
feeling.
quite an honor then.
Oh, it was incredible.
Was your wife like,
Iconic
what?
songs.
What? You're going to go on the road?
Yeah, well, my wife was a little bit, because I had done the road, and we've been married We've been married 31 years, and so she has been through that process of me being out on the road, and it's not easy. And but I made her realize that I hadn't been out on the road like this, and it is an honor. He's an iconic artist with great music, and it's fun every night.
A musician that gets married at 19 and it sticks. You are a special
Yeah.
man.
That is
very
You know,
special.
that's very rare.
I got.
And
her
when you
fooled.
say like this, you
got
mean
her
mature
fooled.
musicians who aren't up all night partying. Because these days, the guys that are on the road, they're drinking chamomile tea, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Absolute.
Well, occasional.
It's
Well,
5
it's
o'clock
5
somewhere.
o'clock somewhere.
All right, we're going to come back with Jim Moose Brown. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and whatever song you want to play. Don't worry about the format of our radio station.
Okay.
You pick whatever your favorite song is for the second song. Jim Moose Brown will be on stage performing with Bob Seger's Silver Bullet Band. And as soon as he's done performing, Jody will have the final word of the day.